Tea time with Bodyslams.
Tall John, Big
be
John,
honest with you,
Latin John,
to be honest with
Latin
you,
heartthrob John,
Wait a minute,
Latin sex machine John.
pretty much I am the new age shockmaster. That's what I am.
Jump into my mouth, Bryan. I'll eat you. He did bite him in the match. The Raging Crow, Justin Garcia. Jonathan Chavez. V. John Allen. Tea time with Bodyslams. A refined look at grappling.
All right, guys, this is a little bit more of a somber episode of Tea Time with Bodyslams. I'm here with myself, Justin Garcia, Jonathan Chavez.
Hi, folks. Yeah, this is gonna get kind of dark.
Yeah, normally, you guys know us. We're a little bit more lighthearted, a lot more funny. I think we're hilarious, but
I think we're one of the few that thinks that we're funny.
shh. Anyway,
If you had said we're here, that would have been great.
so you got a chuckle out of me there. So we're just chilling in a car, and today we're going to talk about the Ultimate Warrior. So the Ultimate Warrior passed 2-3 hours ago to this recording.
This is all very recent. The news broke literally from recording it right now. The news broke maybe an hour and a half ago. Not a lot of details are known. Things are sketchy. One report said he was found in his hotel room. Another report said he collapsed on his way to his car from his hotel. So reports are sketchy at best. Not a lot of details. The only thing that is confirmed by various news sites and the internets, the Ultimate Warrior is sadly dead.
I feel like I also didn't clarify. John Allen will not be here with us. And I will leave the direct message from him to you guys. Normally, he's a lot more funny, a lot more jokey. As we all know, the John Allen has to shine. But today, he's not really feeling up to it. The news kind of shocked him as well. So, send him your positive energy, guys. Keep your hands in the air.
Don't let the grief win.
Yeah, don't let the grief win. But Ultimate Warrior took wrestling from two guys just, grappling it out, doing Greco-Roman style wrestling in the ring to a larger-than-life spectacle. People like Hulk Hogan, people like Macho Man, people like Ultimate Warrior. They were the most well-known names of WWE.
It stopped being just a bunch of sweaty guys in tights wrestling each other into being a bunch of sweaty guys in tights plus superheroes fighting each other.
And normally, I have nothing against the old style or way, but the thing that Ultimate Warrior did for the company, along with many others who helped pioneer the way, helped pioneer storylines, helped pioneer, the stuff that we get invested with, the stuff that makes people feel emotional when they watch wrestling. Not just the physicality of it all, but, seeing things like the Ultimate Warrior doing 3 tackles, 3 of those shoulder tackles to Macho Man and knocking him out of the ring, and just, the emotional storytelling of what was going on behind that as well. These guys brought this to the generation, which changed what the 80s were as compared to the 70s and before.
And it paved the way for so many guys, John Cena, big among them, that had that larger-than-life personality that made it entertaining. You wouldn't have Super Cena if you didn't have Hulkamania, and if you didn't have Macho Mania, and you didn't have the Ultimate Warriors. And I say Warriors because that's what a lot of the fans were who followed him.
His little warriors that bleeding through the veins of the Ultimate Warrior. And, he was an insane promo cutter. absolutely. Like, you would think the guy is fucking mental sometimes just listening to the stuff he said, but what it wasn't so much what he said to me that mattered, it was how he said things. He had the ability to hype you up, get you pumped, get you ready. Between his promo to him running down the ring and shaking the ropes, and the match that he might be in might not be that long, might not be a technical display of athleticism, but it was an extreme display of pure raw energy.
Man, it is a big shock. Nobody saw this coming. And like everybody is saying on Twitter, I literally just saw him on Raw.
Yeah, he had just gotten inducted Sunday. He was on Raw yesterday.
And the speech he gave to the fans on Raw, saying that it's up to the fans to decide who's going to be remembered, who's going to become a true legend, and who's going to become a footnote. Still resonates and is still true, because without the fans getting behind the Ultimate Warrior, and now this has a lot to do with his charisma and the energy he brought with him, but without the fans, he would have just been another guy.
Yeah, and you could say that's very important to wrestling today, especially with things like the Yes Movement. Daniel Bryan is a prime example of someone who got over strictly because of the fans. His gimmick was that he was, vegan?
His gimmick was, well, to use the term, he was another vanilla midget. He was a Roderick Strong. He was a Dean Malenko. He was a Chris Benoit. He was a technical badass, but not much personality-wise. And Daniel Bryan, I do love him, but he's not even the best promo cutter, although he has improved. It's a lot to do with the fans getting behind him that made him this big. And
Without the fans, Daniel Bryan would be nowhere. Like, the Yes Movement is strictly something that the fans have come up with, and the support he's garnered through it all has been absolutely fantastic.
I'm sorry. I apologize for my somber mood. It's been a very long weekend. A lot of, aside from the streak and the Warrior.
We're going to talk about the streak, though.
I know, but aside from all that, also another one of my favorite entertainers has passed. John Panette, rest in peace. So it's been a very long and trying weekend. And like a good friend of ours said, it feels like my childhood has just gone comatose. The only thing that's bringing me any amount of joy right now, I finally got my Gatorade. All I want is a Gatorade, and that intern wouldn't get it.
Yeah, he wouldn't get it. Anyway, thank you, Ultimate Warrior, for everything you've done for the business at large. It was amazing to see you inducted into the Hall of Fame. You've deserved it, and I'm thankful that you were able to repair bonds with WWE.
Whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you see his career as questionable at best, whether you despise his politics or the way he portrayed himself as a person, there's not going to be another Ultimate Warrior for quite some time. He left a big mark in this industry and a really big pair of shoes to fill. Ultimate Warrior, this is to you. I can't wait to get up there so I can see you fight Eddie Guerrero at the greatest stage of them all.
All right. Now, the one thing we were definitely going to have to do with this episode, we got to talk about Wrestlemania. Wrestlemania 30 happened. It was a very hollow Wrestlemania for me, but I'm going to get into my overall thesis of Wrestlemania a little bit later. Let's start off with the matches pre-show. 4-way dance tag match. We talked about this. Usos, Ryback, Matador, and the Real Americans. Most of us put our money on the Usos or Real Americans. Those were the only two logical choices. Usos retain it. Real Americans break up. Other two tag teams seem like a wasted slot, but that's just my opinion. John, what do you think?
The Matadors have promise, and you know it. If you were going to give them a title run, it would have been this weekend, because they did induct their dad, Carlos Colon into the WWE Hall of Fame. It would have been the time to actually give him a push. They chose not to. Okay, that's fine. You want to keep it on the Usos? I kind of figured that's where you were going to head, but if you're going to give it to the Matadors, this was the time. They didn't choose it. Usos win. Real Americans break up, which, yeah, because the Swedish Superman is all on his own now, and, well...
he's not on his own.
Well,
he's
no.
a Heyman guy.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. The one thing I really felt that was weird about this was they put in 2 tag teams to me that did not belong. The Matadors, as much as they inducted their father. That's great, but their gimmick as the Matadors is a complete joke.
Yeah, it's straight out of the 80s. We've been talking about this.
So there was no way they were going to hold title gold. So why are you putting in this joke gimmick? To me, it would have made more sense to put in the Outlaws and the Rhodes. Outlaws have lost the championship to the Usos, so it would make sense that they would want to be in. Dump Ryback because the team fucking blows. They don't have Paul Heyman anymore, which means that they don't have anything to carry them with the crowd. They're not a good heel team. They're not a good team in general. Put in the Rhodes because they were completely wasted in the 30-man Battle Royale. So put in the Rhodes, who had a really good long feud with the Outlaws. And I think you would have had a complete good spectacle where all 4 teams shine.
True, but let's be honest. They needed the Outlaws to fight the Shield because we all know that turned out great.
They didn't need the Outlaws to fight the Shield, though.
I am not done.
That's a lie.
I'm not done. Put in, I don't know, you got plenty of other tag teams that are trying to break in. Give them a chance to shine. Put in 3-man band or somebody, anybody.
Who?
Exactly. Put in anybody, and they could have had a chance to shine here, but Ryback wasted opportunity. This was kind of a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, the only other thing I could say would be I don't feel a title match should be a pre-show match. Because, okay, maybe you guys could say I'm in the old school mentality where titles actually meant something. You know, the other titles actually meant something. But I don't feel like a title match should ever be a pre-show event. I don't know if they just did this to push the network and be like, oh, this is a reason to get it or whatever. Or I'm not sure. But I really don't think that your tag team champions, your only tag champions, the Usos, who are really good in their own right, should be put on the pre-show.
It's just not the way WWE's doing things right now. They don't care about the U.S. title. When was the last time Dean Ambrose defended it? They don't really care about the
I remember the last time he defended it.
When?
Mark Henry.
How long ago was that?
That was a month ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was on a Raw or a SmackDown.
And nobody cared.
Yeah, it was when Mark Henry came back, and that they were like, Dean Ambrose, you haven't defended the title, and Shield was ribbing him, and he was like, I'll take on any challenger, and then Mark Henry came out, and yeah.
And no one
the crowd
cared.
went flaccid.
Unless they chanted sexual chocolate, nobody cared.
No, they didn't chant sexual chocolate.
Exactly. They don't care about a lot of these titles anymore. Remember, a long time ago, tag titles were the thing carrying the company. People tuned in to see, Edge and Christian fight the Hardys, fight the Dudleys, fight the Acolytes, because that was the thing you wanted to see.
Rob Van Dam and Kane, Booker T and Goldust.
Rob Van Dam and Booker T.
Oh yeah, that was a team.
William Regal and Eugene, for God's sakes.
We don't talk about Eugene.
Well, we will. The Un-Americans, Vitamin C, Christian and Chris Jericho.
Too cool. Too cool.
Kai and Tai.
Kai and Tai.
The Headbangers. There was a lot.
La Resistance.
There's a lot. Okay, now we're just naming fucking teams. But yeah, they just don't care. Fuck it. Next match.
Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. Oh, I wonder who won this match.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan with a move where none of us really thought he'd win it off of.
Yeah, it was a good, solid match. I think I like the in-ring storytelling, but this is going to be something I bring up a little bit throughout the podcast. They really put so much energy into the storyline that it seemed like everything else fell flat. They really put everything, because the Daniel Bryan whole thing was the feel-good story of the year.
Yeah, but I at least thought it was a decent enough match. It was a good enough match that I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it was a bad match. It was a great match. Stephanie McMahon really getting good heat. They're jumping him at the end of the match. Triple H gets this really awesome entrance as usual. I'm surprised Daniel Bryan didn't get like a bigger entrance.
Yeah, Triple H came out as Super Skeletor from the He-Man movie.
He-Man!
And the Masters of the Universe. But that's neither here nor there. It was a good match. Plenty of holds, plenty of good counters. Triple H showing that he can do some technical stuff. Even though most of his repertoire is power-based, he can still do some technical shit. It was a fun match, but in the end, the finish kind of a running knee. Now, here's the thing.
Isn't that his thing, though?
It is, but that he's never won a match with a running fucking knee, at least not WWE. And to my knowledge, WWE's past the point of people winning matches with random moves. They haven't done that since the early 2000s.
Well, I don't know about that. The RKO is kind of just...
Well, he got that from Diamond Dallas Page. Are you going to doubt?
No, Diamond Dallas Page did it awesome. Randy Orton does it fucking lazy.
Anyways.
The worm.
That was the Cobra. But guess what? WWE still counts that as a finisher.
The Cobra beats people, so we can deal with a knee. We can have a knee.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, back in the day, Jeff Hardy would win matches with the 450 splash. Kane would win bullshit with a power slam. There were
slam?
No, an actual power slam. So there were times where you didn't have to pull off the finisher to actually finish the match. And that's kind of what they're harking back to, I guess. But
well,
winning it with a flying knee is like winning it with a flying head. But that never happened except one time.
I still think it's okay. I'm not really griping too much on the finish so much of that match. Because that match wasn't nearly as consequential. It wasn't the finish of the match that needed to be good to me. It was what happened afterwards. The jumping of Daniel Bryan needed to happen because it made you think, oh, they might let him win. And remember what our votes were for. We thought that Batista would win the main event. So it got us nervous.
I was still, in going into I was just like, Batista's going to win it.
Because they stacked the deck. It's like, oh, Daniel Bryan's getting hurt. So the story was actually carrying itself.
I was just so jaded at it that, like, okay, Batista's going to win it. And then when he wins, I'm not going to watch WWE anymore.
You know you would, though.
Only because of the podcast.
All right, let's move on. A match which, speaking of footnotes, The Shield versus Kane and the Outlaws. The Shield versus Citizen Outlaws, I guess.
I like that you used my term.
Yeah, the Citizen Outlaws. It'll rub off on me. But this match was like less than 5 minutes. Gay jokes. Yeah, this match was less than 5 minutes.
Triple H's entrance was longer than this match.
I honestly feel like the Shield was completely wasted. Yes, there was a storyline where Kane had to fight the Shield. That's all well and good. That's fine, I guess. But why did it, I don't feel like they established the New Age Outlaws enough to the point that it justified them being in the match.
And here's the thing. Even if they had established them, it was still a squash match at Wrestlemania.
Yeah, you don't want the Shield to be doing a squash match, And the fact that Kane, who was supposed to be the main villain, wasn't involved in the decision of the pin. He wasn't pinned.
No, he fucked off after he got speared.
So it's like either have a one-on-one between Roman Reigns.
I mean, it was, one-on-one versus Roman Reigns, or just a promo off between Dean and Road Dogg.
Or establish more that the New Age Outlaws are part of the Authority. Really establish that a lot more because it just seemed like they were kind of shoehorned in.
I think, that's pretty much what they were. I think Triple H was just like, here you guys go. I'm going to give you one last run.
Yeah, it's like if you guys had established that Triple H is really using them as cronies, really hard. Yeah. Remember in the McMahon era when we had Big Boss Man and we had all those guys. They were really well. Hold on, wait a minute. They were really well established. We knew who they were.
Here's the thing.
We don't know who the Outlaws are.
Here's the thing. They are no longer the New Age Outlaws. They are the New Age Stooges.
I wouldn't even say they're that. At least we knew who Pat Patterson and Jerry Zbyszko were.
Yeah.
We knew who they were. We knew why they were there. We don't know why the Outlaws were here.
I guess that's what they're going to use them for. They're going to be the New Age Stooges. Mark my words.
Right. But, yeah, Shield picks off the win.
Although that was an awesome finish. Double, triple power bomb.
Yeah, no, the finish was great. But the match was it was so you couldn't turn your eyes for a second because it was like you missed it. Like honestly, you missed it. There was no Kane and them didn't even put up an offense. It was just one of those things where it's like, eh.
What was it? One of our friends went away to go grab a sandwich. She comes back, the match is over.
No, she went to go grab pizza.
Oh God.
I went to go answer a phone call. I missed half the match. So what does that tell you?
Short phone call.
Very short phone call. All right, next up, the 30-man Andre the Giant Battle Royale. Over the top Battle Royale.
No. It's 31 man now because Cesaro wasn't supposed to be in it.
No, it's 30 because one man got cut.
No, that's what they're purporting it. That on Raw, they said it was a 31 man.
Oh, well, it was supposed to be a 30-man. Christian wasn't in the match.
Which makes me entirely sad.
Christian, for those of you who like, okay, I don't know how many people are still one of his peeps now, but I know I'm a peep and you're a peep. But Christian suffered a concussion at, I don't know who the hands were specifically, but it was in a match between him, Sheamus, Del Rio, and
Biggie.
And Biggie. No. It was him, Sheamus, Del Rio, and one other person, and the winner would fight Biggie.
Dolph Ziggler.
Probably Dolph Ziggler. And he's got a concussion. So Christian's probably out. The rumors are having it that he's probably going to retire after his contract expires. So bye-bye, Christian. The 30-man over the top Battle Royale. It was a pretty awesome WrestleMania moment. Lots of cool spots. Kofi delivering the impossible.
Not even the impossible. He's just kind of lucked out because they were thought like, oh man, he's gone. Like, no, feet are still on the steps. He's good.
He got thrown over the turnbuckle, and his reasoning, like the reasoning for them keeping him in the match, his feet were still on the stairs. That is such a hard spot. I don't know how they pulled it off.
And then you get other spots, like the Rhodes Brothers being a tag team again. People throwing over Khali and Big Show. For whatever reason, Brad Maddox is in the Royal Rumble, and Justin Gabriel now looks like John Morrison because he grew out his hair.
That was weird.
It really was. And then it all kind of boiled down to, well, you know who, the Swiss Superman.
Which I'm kind of surprised he was in the match because he was in a match in the pre-show.
Although now we see why he was to really put him over with the crowd.
Oh yeah, and not only is Cesaro over, but they're really pushing this guy. I love it too, because like what we said earlier, he's a Heyman guy now. So now he's working with Paulie. He's gonna have a really great guy to help him cut promos. Doesn't need a Zeb Coulter. He's got someone better as a manager, and this kid's gonna go far now. This will not. I guarantee you guys, this will not be another case of Curtis Axel.
We hope. We deadly hope. It came down to him versus Big Show. And then he pulled Hulk Hogan lifting Big Show, deadlifting fucking Big Show, over his shoulder, dropping him out of the ring, and even Big Show had to shake his hand in admiration and respect.
Shades of WrestleMania 3. Yeah, I guess we were all hoping the Big Show win because he's the biggest motherfucker, but having Cesaro win was actually not bad at all. I didn't feel disappointed.
I didn't feel disappointed or cheated. Although, did you notice that Big Show was wearing Andre the Giant style trunks?
I didn't actually.
He was.
Oh, the more you know.
Tea time with Bodyslams.
I don't think that's how the theme song went, but whatever, John.
Shut your whore mouth. Stop it.
All right. We're continuing off. Oh, and that, by the way, that trophy looked really rad.
It did. Too bad what happened to it on Monday.
We won't. Okay, just a brief synopsis. It got destroyed on Monday by Jack Swagger.
Fuck you, Swagger.
Fuck you, Swagger. And fuck you, WWE, for letting someone destroy a statue of Andre the Giant. That's bullshit.
Well, you could tell it was a fake.
I don't care. It is a statue of Andre the Giant, the man who went undefeated for like 15 years.
Oh, no, I'm just saying it was a fake because you can tell it was much lighter. And
it looked like it was made of wood.
It looked like it was made out of plastic.
Yeah. All right, anyway, next match. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. Now, I have a...
Oh, yes, I am. Yes,
My mic.
Let go.
Just speak.
Good God, was this a good match?
Okay, this was a great match. Bray Wyatt is, like, mind-gaming it up to 11.
Fantastic storytelling, fantastic in-ring action, fantastic entrance by the Wyatts.
I see
Bray Wyatt, I want that fucking coat.
I want that shirt that our friend, that the intern has. He got it for his birthday. He's got this rad Wyatt family shirt. But anyway, the thing about the Bray Wyatt versus John Cena match, throughout the whole match, he's telling Cena, you got to beat me. If you're going to beat me, you got to do it like by playing dirty, which is a really good premise. It's very much shades of the Emperor and Luke Skywalker. The Wyatt family entrance, amazing. They had the band playing their music. I had a big problem with this match, though.
Mark Roser, I've never heard your music before. I'm going on YouTube.
I had a big problem with this match. Damn it, John. What? You are stealing my thunder. WCW thunder, to be precise. Anyway.
So you mean the new TNA look for Impact, right?
No, Thunder was way better. Anyway, my biggest problem with this match is not that Cena picked up the victory. Cena picked up the victory as expected. It was a great match, but the storytelling kind of fell flat. This is where I thought that Cena should, because the way the spot was set up, Bray's like, you got to hit here. He gave him a chair. Hit me with the chair. Cena won this match fair, square, and clean.
Yeah, he beat him clean. He hit him with the attitude adjustment. 1, 2, 3, done.
You know what I call bullshit, because you could have, okay, just from a creative aspect, you could have milked this storyline much longer if Cena had clocked him with the chair, maybe when the ref's back was turned or something, and won the victory then. And here's the thing, very similar to when The Rock became heel and people started liking him, you can get the fans back on Cena's fucking side. Are we really just going to avoid this from this point on? Like
they're just gonna pretend like Cena ever being a heel, which he was when he first started to get over, was never a thing.
You don't even have to make him a heel at this point. Just make him a tweener. Make him someone who's conflicted. Have the storyline go to where Bray is like constantly taunting and tormenting him, and constantly getting up in his mind, like he's been doing, mind games to hell, and just ended up where like Cena has to overcome that. Then you have a really good story. You made Cena have like a darker streak, which many wrestlers have had to do before. Triple H has had to do it. Rock has had to do it when it came to Mankind.
Stone Cold did it. Shawn Michaels did it.
Absolutely.
Now let's be honest. They could have done it this way, but they chose not to. Lord knows why. Cena beats him clean. 1, 2, 3. And if they had done it, and if they had just gone on with the storyline, they could have milked this till SummerSlam.
Nah, that was the only thing. I just feel like they really should have let the story go, let it play itself out, let Cena have a darker streak to him. We could have also gotten Cena in a couple more interesting matches. Maybe the next match, like for the next major pay-per-view, you could have had Cena and Bray Wyatt in a Hell in a Cell match, or something like a Lights Out match, you know?
Lights Out?
Yeah, Lights Out match. I brought it back.
Have him in a cage, have him...
Like, you can
Inferno,
start... Yeah, exactly.
Have him catch the beard on fire, I don't know.
But you can have this happen, and it would have been great.
They could have milked it, they just didn't.
That to me just seems like, reminds me of WCW billing. Like, short-sighted planning, very short-sighted when it comes to running your gimmicks.
Yeah, but they've been doing this for years. The Daniel Bryan feud with the Wyatt should have been going on even till now, but guess what? They changed it, and at least for Daniel Bryan, it was for the better. But a lot of times they've been changing these feuds back and forth, without giving a thought to it.
Yeah.
Remember when Kevin Nash was supposed to fight CM Punk?
Then
Kevin Nash was supposed to fight Triple H?
No.
Then Triple H fought CM Punk? That was a thing. That all changed within a span of 2 weeks before a pay-per-view. I am not joking.
I don't remember this, but I believe you.
Next match,
the heartbreaker of the evening. This is the Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar match. Now, if you don't mind, John, like, remember every time I say you have a shit-eating grin and I just let you go?
Yeah, and you always cut me off eventually, so you can go ahead and I'll eventually cut you off.
Okay. First off, this is one of the few times that I can ever say this was not a great-looking match, and that shocks me and saddens me from the Undertaker. John Allen pointed out in the last podcast there's a certain frailty looking to him. Well, in this case, it showed. Undertaker is suffering from a concussion during the match. Bounced too many times on the fucking head. But this match did not look great. It did not play out well. The story was not there. And the streak was broken.
There was story?
No.
There wasn't. There was nothing.
The story wasn't there. That's what I said. Now, the way I look at it is, any Undertaker match can be great as long as you bill it right. If you're gonna have a guy come in, after a year,
I don't know. That match with Ric Flair was garbage.
No, but that wasn't so much the match. That was actually more of the storytelling
Oh
aspect.
no,
in
that
the
match was garbage.
That you're missing the point of it entirely. You're the same. It's the same reason why kids who say Episode 5 of Star Wars was the worst because it was the boringest. The whole point of the Ric Flair versus Undertaker match was not to have a good-looking match. That one was in-ring storytelling at its finest. Ric Flair got put up against a really, there was no chance in hell of him winning match. And he lost.
Oh, yeah.
But let's not talk about Ric Flair. He wasn't there. But the streak was broken by Brock Lesnar. My biggest problem with Brock breaking the streak, and I brought this up at the last podcast, he's a part-timer. Clearly doesn't have a super love for the business. And another thing I really want to bring up, if someone was going to break the streak, it should have been someone that the Undertaker was pushing. Someone that the Taker would pass the torch to. You know what I mean? Like a new phenom, if you will. Someone who would be like, okay, that makes sense. You're passing the torch and your legacy on to this guy and to keep the story kind of going. Brock does not need a push. Brock has destroyed everyone he's came in contact with.
If I may.
Go ahead.
If I may. And I will.
And you will.
If you want to give it to somebody who needs it and you want to submit, you want to cement them as a contender, as somebody to look out for and to be afraid of. You give it to somebody like Bray. You give it to somebody like the members of the Shield.
Yeah.
Have Undertaker be in a handicap elimination match. He has to go through all three of them if he wants to survive. And you know what? It took all three of them to break him. And that's why the Shield, the Hounds of Justice, are here to stay. Because they did what nobody else could. Not Triple H, not anybody. But
Yeah.
no, you give it to the man who left over money to try and join up with the Vikings and couldn't make it past tryouts. No, you give it to the guy who only came back because he kept on losing UFC matches and getting injured. You give it to the guy who came back and said, I'm only going to be here for 20 or so performances, so use me sparingly because I'm going to cost you money and I don't like the travel. You give it to this guy who bitched out, who's a known bully in the backstage, and a goddamn part-timer.
Absolutely. And the fact was, I mean, and this, I don't know who to particularly blame this on.
I'll blame it on...
No, I'm talking about the way the match was, like, the actual in-ring match, the in-ring product itself, because the match didn't look great, so it didn't look like it was a hard-fought match. Undertaker was mostly, like, the best offense he was getting up was his submission holds, then getting dropped on his fucking head.
Now, let me say this, because I called it last time. One, Brock is a sloppy worker, so he injured Taker like I knew he would. Two, I knew this was going to be another Brock versus Goldberg, where it's just a couple of power moves here and there, a little bit of brawling, and it's flaccid, and the crowd's not behind it.
Yeah, I would have even taken Taker DQing himself, where the only thing he could do to be, if you wanted to, if they built up the story really well, having Taker, break his own streak with a DQ would have been acceptable. I would have accepted that wholeheartedly because it would have been like, okay, Brock is such a guy that the only person who could break his streak was Taker. It just, from a business standpoint, it didn't make sense. Brock didn't need a push. The match was not good to look at, and Taker's actual exit from the end of the match looked terrible. They tried to give him a standing ovation, but it just looked awkward. It looked like something was missing.
It was 5 minutes of stunned silence. Many memes have been created since, knowingly the black guy meme. I don't know his name. I don't know what they're calling him.
There's a picture that surfaced of him, like, at that Wrestlemania getting an autograph from Taker.
Oh, wow.
Like, before the match, like, I guess the autograph session before they do the Wrestlemania, he got it and he's like, yeah. And then after the match, he's like, oh.
Poor guy.
Poor bastard.
We all thought that it was a botch. To the point where we were watching this on the network, mind you.
We rewinded it.
Yeah, we rewound it. We were just like, no. That's a botch. That's clearly a botch. There's no way. No. This is a referee mistake or Brock got DQ'd. Something.
Because the way it ended, it was like, okay, he did 3 F5s, but it was like the F5 was done, and it just, like, the match was just over. Like, it seemed like I turned around for a second to talk to someone, and it was over.
You know, it's like, I don't know. It's like watching a virgin have really awkward sex. It's over before you think it would be. It lasted longer than you thought, but less than you hoped. And it was worse than you fucking hoped and thought it would be.
It was worse than you wanted.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, that's actually my thoughts on the streak. I thought I'd go a little bit longer, but, yeah, that's about it. Next match. Vicky Guerrero, Divas Invitational. Went exactly like I predicted. AJ won. All the odds were against her. She managed to squeak out the victory.
And I love her for it.
The only reason this match was somewhat entertaining was the simple fact that you've got all these divas together, so every one of them has to have a spot. It was a total spot fest.
It was a spot fest, and here's the thing. Eva Marie, why are you still around?
I don't even know why she's relevant.
Aside from the TV show, dude, you should have been fired for selling so poorly. How can you not sell?
She sells worse than Duggan.
So Botchamania had this list. 10 worst, most botched matches of all 2013. She's in one of them.
She won't stay down for any move.
And here's the thing. That match, 6 or 7 months ago, you have had time to learn. And at WrestleMania, you still can't sell, you simple bitch. This stupid, ignorant bitch.
Nice.
Whatever. And then you take away Tamina's spot because they wouldn't let her fly? Bullshit. I call bullshit.
But yeah, and I've come to realize this happens a lot with Divas matches where they put way too many in a match. It's always culminates into a spot fest, which is, I mean, safe to say for most matches where there's a lot of people. But the thing about it is if you put these divas in a one-on-one match, unless you have like Natalya or like a Tamina in it, the match just, you know.
And this time it had both and still was kind of meh, although it was hilarious to see the Bellas fight each other.
Also, to be real, you guys knew the streak was going to break. You followed up the breaking of the streak with this?
Those poor, poor girls.
They didn't have a chance.
Although what's hilarious, the crowd was still cheering because they had to get happy over something.
Not even just that, though. If you notice, the commentators were still talking about Undertaker for the first minute of that match.
Okay, now let's get to the commentators real quick.
We'll get that at the end. Because we still got to talk about the triple threat match.
Anyways, AJ wins. Vicky Guerrero's pissed. Tamina looks hot. Emma still did the dance.
Fuck her. You would fuck her, but no, still fuck her.
Yeah.
Anyway, next match. Randy Orton, Batista, and Daniel Bryan.
Hold on. And Alicia Fox still can't do a proper scissor kick.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's been years.
Okay, Orton, Batista, Daniel Bryan. Bryan pulls out the victory. It's the feel-good story of the year.
And Orton ended up on TV in the way none of us wanted him to.
Okay, this is one of the most amazing spots I've seen in a while.
Worst.
Like it's amazing. No, not worst. It's the best, but also the most painful to look at. They clear out the tables, and I guess Randy missed something on his table or didn't check fully. But they're on the commentators' tables. Batista gets ready to power bomb Daniel Bryan, and he power bombs him into Randy Orton's RKO. An absolutely sick spot. We rewound that several times because that was so awesome to look at. But Randy Orton landed on one of the monitors in the small of his back, and there was blood, and it looked like it hurt. I don't say much positive things about Randy, but I gotta say, man, you are a trooper from being able to get up from that. That could break you.
That could end your career.
Seriously? Like, that would have been it.
It really would have been. It was a good match overall, very decent, but it ended up being kind of spotty, especially after the whole table incident. Batista's just like, I don't know where to go now. I don't know how to position myself because, crap, the guy was supposed to continue fighting just axed himself. So it's literally 2 minutes of him looking kind of awkward. What should I do, guys? What should I do? Jumper to my mouth, Bryan.
I'll eat you. Well, you actually did bite him in the match. No, that's the wrong pay-per-view. But Daniel Bryan, wrong character. Daniel Bryan causes Batista to tap out. It was a very brutal match. Triple H and Stephanie come out and run interference, bring out a crooked ref. So you're really thinking, oh crap, Daniel Bryan can lose this.
Screw
Yeah,
job.
you're thinking he can actually lose this. Feel good story of the year. Although I would have said it would have been cool if, like, and this isn't a gripe I have with the match, it just would have been awesome if Triple H instead came out with Kane and the Outlaws, and then Shield came in.
Well,
and
let's
fucked
save
them
that
up.
for Raw.
Yeah, no, but they did read my mind later. But yeah, perfect ender. But I'm going to get into the overalls a little bit. The problem with this WrestleMania was that match and that storyline paid off perfectly, but no other one was.
No, it was very flat. It was like an anime with too much filler.
Yeah. The commentators?
Were garbage. Now let me.
Go.
I'm gonna go
Take
on
it,
this one.
Take it and run.
You lazy motherfuckers. You don't even call the matches half the time unless it's a big move. Most of the time, you're telling stories
Or
and cracking
silence.
jokes, or you're talking about what Triple H just said to Daniel Bryan earlier on in the night during a perfectly good match. So you're not doing a Joey Styles, and you're not doing a JR, you're definitely not doing a Gorilla Monsoon. You're just there cracking jokes. And what do you do during WrestleMania? You shitbags, you take the entire night to wake the fuck up because you were silent most of the goddamn time. Now, this could be a problem with the network. I might take that, but half the time you guys sounded dead, like you had just taken a bunch of horse tranquilizers. I don't know what your deal is. It's WrestleMania. Get your shit in gear. All three of you are vets. Two of you have performed at WrestleMania. Technically speaking, three of them because of Michael Cole. Yeah, he did.
Talk about that.
Well, guess what? It happened. Anyways, you all know what this is to the industry. What it is to be a little kid and have your dream being to wrestle at WrestleMania. Ultimo Dragon, that was his dream. I'm not even joking about that. That was his legitimate dream. He said it. He lived it when he had his short run there. He wrestled at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan has said it. Michael McGillicuddy or Curtis, whatever the fuck his name is, he said it. And you lazy fucks are sleepwalking through the show. You should be ashamed.
Now, if you don't mind, I just want to bring up the comparison. The Raw of Next Day Raw, they definitely had a lot more to say then. They weren't quiet, but for some reason, like you brought up, they were just asleep. It seemed like they were just out.
And nobody's ever going to bring it up.
Nobody. Except Tea Time with Bodyslams. Because we care.
Hard-hitting news.
Hard-hitting news. And we care. We care. We absolutely care. Hulk Hogan botched the arena name. Instead of saying the Superdome, he called it the Silverdome. Nice. You had one job. They've been billing you to host this for so long, and you had one job just to get the arena name right.
And
but what was hilarious...
Everyone made fun of him. You were trolled by The Rock and Stone Cold. You silly bastard.
No, not even that. He was trolled by Heyman next day's Raw, who said, it's the Superdome, not the Silverdome, Hogan. Good job. So, way to go, Hulk. You fucking fool. The Hall of Fame was, very heartwarming. Jake the Snake Roberts giving probably one of the most tearful speeches I've heard in God knows how long.
I know we both teared up at that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lita telling a very long-winded but heartfelt story about how she got her start in the industry, being a young white girl who just showed up in Mexico. It's like, ¿Dónde está el lucha libre? That was a thing. She admitted to this.
Right. But overall, this WrestleMania, while the first and last match was great because it all involved the same storyline, the
Diamond Dallas Page, where's the snake?
Where's the snake? The regular snake goes, cobras go, but yeah, what's supposed to be a match of everything either being paid off or restarting, I didn't get any of that. All I got was the Daniel Bryan storyline going through, which I guess is a total positive, but everything else in the middle, it was like, eh. It's like having an ice cream sandwich, but in the middle is air. You know, you got the nice outer part, the cool little cookie part, but inside you don't get the creamy goodness.
I was actually gonna say I was gonna compare it to having a hot threesome with two really beautiful women, and then one of them ends up being a blow-up doll.
Or both of them ends up being a blow-up doll.
Nah.
And then you realize you were drunk. And then you realize, man, what am I doing with my life? Okay, I guess we could do
about Scott Hall.
Oh, he's a Hall of Famer now, so you can't diss him. But okay,
I love him.
let's just do
I
a
really
really
do.
quick synopsis of Raw, really fast, lightning quick. Paul Heyman coming out cutting promo gold. I was expecting a little bit more coming from the Undertaker's side. That didn't get paid off for me. I'm wondering a little bit more.
Him coming out saying that Cesaro is now one of his guys. Zeb Coulter being butthurt and salty about it, understandably. Because guess what? You just lost the one thing your stable had going for
Exactly, because the one thing I always wanted to bring up was, like, the problem with the Real Americans was the fact that they made Jack Swagger the jobber. He almost always cost the match. He was always the one who was losing, always the one who was getting pinned. So it's like, having a match where you have Swagger versus Cesaro, it doesn't fucking matter because you know Swagger's not going to fucking win.
We the Swaggers,
Rob Van Dam's return against Damian Sandow.
which was a pretty decent squash match.
Good to see Rob Van Dam back. He still got it, and the the crowd even said it. You still got it. Clap, 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 clap.
Let's see. Rey Mysterio getting owned by Bad News Barrett.
I like the fact that are they pushing Bad News Barrett? I really hope they are.
I hope that they are, and I love the fact that Ray looks at the crowd while he's being booed. He's just like, "Really, guys? What happened? Here's
I'm
what
the
happened.
face.
Here's what happened. You took Bryan's number 30 spot in the Rumble. That's what happened."
They're still salt. The three-man tag match, Wyatt's versus Sheamus, Biggie, and Cena. I will say normally I can sort of watch a Sheamus match, but Sheamus does not gel well with Rowan and Luke Harper.
You think he would? You really
You
think
really
he would?
do. You would think he would gel really well with the guys.
I'm just gonna hope it's an off night and move on from there. Let's see. We got Batista and Orton, basically the corporate evolution, coming in and owning the Usos.
Yeah, way to make your tag champions look really good, guys. Yeah, you're champions.
Speaking of champions, AJ losing to basically a squash match to Paige, who, by the way, I've heard fantastic things. I'm looking forward to seeing her in the ring in pretty much like 2 minutes.
Yeah, here's my thing. Okay, there's two things I'm curious about this match, and I normally wouldn't harp on this so much, but she's the NXT Women's Champion, right?
Yes.
She's gonna hold both belts?
I guess so.
I don't think so. I'm wondering if her title reign as a Divas Champion is going to be very short, or someone's going to carry out the NXT belt. I don't watch NXT that much, so I don't have too much knowledge there. And the other thing I'm concerned about, she better be good, because this push better be worth her over Tamina, her over Natalya, or any other diva who's been working their ass off back there.
Yeah, and it looked like Tamina was about to whip AJ's ass half the damn time, so I guess they're not going with that angle.
I thought they would.
Although I will say, even Hudson Evie said on Facebook that we finally have a real wrestler as the Divas champ. Let's just make sure she can actually wrestle.
Fandango and Summer Rae versus Santina Marella and Emma. Obviously, we know who wins. Emma wins with two moves, the tarantula and the tarantula. What is it called when it's on the ground?
I don't know. I know that move used to be done by Melina. I'm not exactly sure what it's called.
She wins with two moves. Fandango got hurt with one. It was a piss match. Nobody really gives a shit. I really wish Santina and Emma would piss the fuck off. They're the worst pairing I've ever seen since the Ministry and the Corporation. I hate it.
I don't mind them, but Fandango, go home. You're not drunk, but I want you out of my life.
But the crowd loves Fandango.
They love to dance because it's a giant troll.
Yeah. Let's see. What the hell else did they have? Oh yeah, Paul Heyman. We talked about that. There's a couple new guys that they're promoting really hard. There's a Bo Leave and Adam Rose.
Well, Bo Leave is actually that's actually Bray Wyatt's real life brother.
They're not doing like that promo video looked awful.
Wait, what do you mean, Bro Leave?
Bo Leave or whatever.
Yeah.
They showed a promo video of him like, all you guys need to do is Bo Leave, and they showed it on the show.
Yeah, that's
Him and Adam Rose.
Well, I don't get Adam Rose, but
He's a British party rock star. Cool, I guess.
yeah, he has midgets and people in sheet masks on his bus. I guess he hangs out with the Wyatts, or he used to, anyways.
Anyways, Alexander Rusev versus Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder gets killed.
I'm pretty sure if you watch that match over again, in the beginning you can see Alex Rusev check his jaw after Jack Ryder hit him in it.
Jack Ryder?
Whatever.
Do you really think he stiffed him? I don't.
I think he might have unintentionally, and then he just beat the holy shit out of him.
Yeah, I like his fancy footwork. And I love the fact that he does the camel clutch. Reminds me of the Iron Sheik.
You know, they're really playing up his Muay Thai background, which I can definitely see.
Hulk Hogan comes out to an awful wig and gives Cesaro the trophy. Cesaro turns out to be a Heyman guy. Match ensues. Cesaro versus Swagger. Swagger destroys the trophy. Swagger gets himself counted out by running away.
Meh.
Yay. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. Now, the whole night they're pitching that Kane and The Shield are going to tear apart Daniel Bryan in this match, and that Corporate Evolution is going to come out and take care of business.
I like that you're using my name for that.
Yeah, I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that all well and good until Kane spilled the beans about the reason they got attacked on SmackDown, the show that nobody watches.
The Hounds of Justice are not pleased and are not to be toyed with. Basically, Daniel Bryan gets his ass handed to him by both Batista and Randy, and also Kane, because he comes out for one chokeslam. And then, next thing you know, Echo, Niner, Sierra, Shield. Hounds of Justice to the fucking rescue.
Shield is, oh God, I love the fact that their faces now. The one thing I don't know if you noticed this. There was a sign. Wait. There was a sign. Someone had a sign in the audience when the Shield was coming down that said, Dean Titty Master Ambrose. That was the best sign I've ever seen ever. That fan, if you're listening to this, which you are probably not, you are a god amongst men, and Dean is a titty master.
He's a titty master. Roman Reigns gets all the bitches. That leaves Seth Rollins to be the cool guy. To be the cool guy, because he's a former ROH champion. I'm expecting a lot from him, because he's in the same class as CM Punk and Samoa Joe.
And we were honestly expecting Shield to be broken up by this time. They're not, and they're running really good with them.
I cannot be happier that they turned them face.
Yeah, and I'm really pleased with this Yes movement and the Shield. I can't wait to see more. But that was pretty much the Raw recap.
They're the Hounds of Yes.
The Hounds of Yes. The Yes of Justice.
Shouldn't it be the Movement of Justice? Wait, no, that sounds like Batman's taking a shit.
Ooh, you needed a bowel movement because you're so full of shit. But yeah, I think the only thing we could bring up was Ultimate Warrior did cut a promo, and we talked about that earlier, saying like the fans are what keeps wrestlers going. If I wanted to end this podcast on anything, I want to remind each and every one of you that not only with our work, but the work of WWE or TNA or whatever you watch, you are the voice. You are what makes the shows important. Without you guys, the show wouldn't matter. Just like without you, we wouldn't even be fucking doing this. So whether you're listening or not, we're just happy to be talking to somebody. You know?
And let's be honest, that goes for every industry. Wrestling, movies, comics, music. If the fans don't like it, nobody will tune in. And you know what? Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting Daniel Bryan and the Shield.
Keep voicing your opinions. Keep voicing the things that you want, because eventually someone's got to listen.
And at the next events, I better hear some "Thank You Warrior" chants.
Yeah, thank you Warrior, and thank you everyone out there who can hear the sound of my voice. I'm Justin Garcia, Jonathan Chavez, and of course, the John Allen would like to bid you all the same thing. This is Tea Time with Bodyslams, episode 9.
Signing out. Buenas noches. Be safe, people.
Tea Time with Bodyslams.